Like me, I grew up, man, in church. I grew up, man, Sunday school, Wednesday night Bible study, summer vacation Bible school, all that, man. Christianity is really like a rip-off religion.
Hey, and just so we're clear on record, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
And you really need that, and it comes through for you, then I'll go with the faith way of it. But yeah, if you say, I hope it starts raining, and it starts raining right now, I'm just gonna say,
there is.
You gotta believe in yourself. Before I pray, because I haven't prayed in a long time either. But before I would do that and be like, wait for something to happen, I always think to myself, nobody's finna come save me.
Is there something coming to save you? No, there isn't. But if you got faith in self and got faith in above, now you doubled up on your faith. And I'm like, I get this feeling on me. I'm like, dang, I didn't pray. I say my prayer. I get that internal feeling, crank my radio, let all the windows down. Something's like, punch it. I punch it. I'm going from 65 to 95 in a nanosecond.
Put the collection plate around. The collection plate came back. He got so mad it wasn't enough. He passed it around again and chastising everybody for not putting enough money in.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Yo, welcome back to The Process, a.k.a. The Process. It's your boy, Timmy Reddick, a.k.a. Mr. T.I.M. You know what I mean? I'm here again. I'm back with the serial entrepreneur, Trey Cash. We got our editor-in-chief, Kenny, in video shot today. Behind the scenes, we got the extraordinary videographer, you know what I mean, Leon. We got my man, Ben One, Tony Williams behind the scene as well. Our producer, off mic, off camera rather, on mic. So, here we are. All right, so let's turn the topic a little bit. Let's turn the conversation a little bit. I do remember the last time we were here, you said something that we had to pick up on. Do you remember what you said, bro?
I know what I said. How religion.
No, it ain't what you said. You didn't say religion.
Talking about Christianity is killing the black
You didn't say Christian. You said how the church.
The church, yes.
Killed the black family.
I say it's killing the black community.
Killing the black community. Okay, so we're being quoted here. Trey Cash said,
church is not for the black community.
Okay.
So now it's actually taking a lot from the community. If the church would actually do what the church is supposed to do, black communities will be in a lot better shape.
Okay.
But instead, the churches, they want the money for themselves.
So we're talking about today's church. We're not necessarily blanket slating the entire organization of churches since the existence of the black community when we were
we were brought over here and taught Christianity.
Well, not we ain't gonna go that far back because we know those truths.
I mean, if you want to go from the beginning,
we know those truths.
If you want to go from the beginning, then yeah, Christianity from the beginning has kind of been a handicap for black people because that's what was taught to slaves to keep them in line, to keep them from not revolting, to keep them to behave and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it was always used as a tool to control us.
I have no dispute there. That's something we both can agree on.
That was here before we even became an amendment.
Look, Christianity existed well before slavery, though. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
And if we really want to talk about it, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the Moors that taught them Christianity and everything. So if you go to the Vatican, if you really want to dig deep enough, you can go to the Vatican, and I'm talking Catholic Vatican in Italy and everything in Rome, and know that they have pictures of black Jesus and stuff. Like they have the truth there. You know what I mean? They truly know what Christianity is, what it was, and before paganism came in and the Vikings and all of them folks came over trying to take over everything, when they finally realized they weren't going to be able to conquer all, they conformed. And then once that, I forget his name, but once the one dude decided, okay, I'm going to accept Christianity, and he got to the point of power, he implemented paganism into Christianity. And then that's where you have like Baal, B-A-A-L, and that whole worshiping group, because that's who they worshiped ahead of time and everything. And so he implemented some of those things. And then as the Roman Catholic Church continued to move on, they decided, well, we're going to make Christianity the focal point of all global religion. So it was first them that decided to globalize it. And in their globalization of it and everything, they started taking bits and pieces from everything else to make everyone else fall into line, like the sun and everything. There was people who worshiped the actual sun, and they said, well, yeah, it's the sun, but it's the son of God. the Easter and everything. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, it's Easter, but it's because Jesus rose again on Easter. It's not the bunny that y'all been running around here and stuff. As in Easter, the god Easter is who they used to worship and everything. So they took a lot of other pagan holidays and just conformed them into Christianity and stuff. But I wasn't trying to necessarily unravel that entire thing.
No, I like that conversation because let me piggyback on what you said. Christianity is really like a rip-off religion. It is a rip-off of. It's one of the younger religions compared to a lot of other religions. Most of Christianity is based off of ancient Egyptian religion.
Yep.
All the story of the Son of God, he was crucified, rose back. That's actually an old story from ancient Egypt.
And there's another story before that. That's the same.
Before that. So in Christianity, like you said, it was the Romans that decided, like, okay, it was the emperor, his name was Constantine.
Yep.
So what they did was they formed what's called the Council of Nicaea. I know these things because I'm actually a history buff for religion.
Okay.
So they formed the Council of Nicaea. The Council of Nicaea said, we want one main religion, because they still at that time had the Greek gods and things like that. They said, we want one main religion to form, and this would be the state religion. A gospel at that time was basically a story, a good story. A gospel, they had a lot of gospels that had nothing to do with religion. There's more gospels to what they had, but they decided, okay, we're going to decide which gospels we're going to put together for our Bible. They decided which ones will go in. There's gospels out there that's just as old that doesn't have Jesus performing any miracles. One has Mary Magdalene, actually Jesus' lead disciple. Like, it's a lot of different ones. They decided what will go in and what wouldn't go out, and then they burned the ones that they didn't want, that contradicted what they put in the Bible. And if you were caught with them, you would be killed. So that's kind of how it went. And like church and state was the same thing. Even now, church and state was one. So when you paid taxes, you were paying the church and the state. When they separated, the church still wanted to get paid, so that's where tithes came from. Because that used to be going to the taxes, so that's where church came from. But like I said, it is a ripoff of ancient Egypt, like everything, man. All the gods, even when you pray, man, the God, ancient Egypt, man, Amen Ra. And when they would talk to him and pray to him, at the end they would say his name, Amen Ra. And Christianity took that and say Amen Ra, it's a Amen. Mm-hmm. That's why they say Amen at the end of every prayer, because ancient Egyptians said Amen Ra at the end of every prayer they did.
Correct.
Wow. So even the Ankh is it's a rip off of ashy. But the Ankh is like a rip off of the cross. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so basically when we got away from all of that, because black people were, Egypt and Africa. That was one of our main religions. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of Africans were Muslim at the time. And Christianity kind of was put together, and then it held us back. And then even today, man, just bring it back to today's time, man. Church is just it just takes, man. I get disgusted going to churches sometimes, man. I remember the last time I went to church, man. I went to church with this one girl, just because I went, man, with her. She wanted me to come, and the pastor put the collection plate around. The collection plate came back. He got so mad it wasn't enough. He passed it around again and chastising everybody for not putting enough money in. And,
wow. And
I'm just like,
okay, so
sick.
I feel your anguish with today's church and how man has messed it up. But to kind of backtrack a little bit in regard to Christianity being a newer religion, it's not. Christianity, as far as the New Testament, and the New Testament, when maybe a younger religion, but there are staunch Muslims out there that would tell you and everything that the Bible is the first book, and all other books was derived from the Old Testament. So the Old Testament precedes the Muslim faith and precedes the Judaism faith and everything. It was written first. From that, you are correct. The Dead Sea Scrolls and everything, there were all multiple other books. That wasn't
Christianity.
It wasn't called Christianity. They put Christianity to it after Christ, but the book itself and those books that were there existed long before.
Yeah, but that wasn't Christianity, because Muslims use a lot of that too. All different religions use parts of that and it's interpreted differently to whatever their beliefs are.
100%. My point being, though, is that if you read the Bible for yourself and everything and understand what the Bible is saying, in the Old Testament specifically, when God is talking about his people and the 11 tribes and everything, and how we ended up starting to worship other gods, and we ended up being scattered to the different nations and stuff, and being ruled over, you know what I mean, by people who did not speak our language, you know what I mean, and by people who were going to be above us, and we would be the tail and not the head. When you break down the Old Testament and truly take it in itself, he's talking about not just us Americans that used to be slaves, but he's also talking about the indigenous people that were all taken, because like we all started there. Like the entire earth. We can't argue when the Pangea was put together and everything. And the Bible tells us that when they tried to build that tower you know it, say it. If you don't, then hopefully y'all know what I'm talking about. But either way, he was like, okay, y'all doing too much, so I'm going to scatter y'all to the wind and confuse the tongues so y'all can never get this close to doing it again. And so from that...
It actually didn't happen that way.
However it happened, it was close enough. And that's how the Bible reads it, so I'm going to say that's how it happened. You know what I mean? It's a story. Not to be taken as a literal account, but a story that was written and retold and retold and retold and retold.
Yeah, it's all
and it's like
stories.
the telephone. It's like the telephone game. You know what I mean? If I whisper something in your ear and there's 20 motherfuckers in here, and by the time we get to the last person, it ain't gonna be the same thing. But as long as the meaning is held to heart. I mean, the Bible basically is boiled, in my opinion, it boils down to an acronym that Wu-Tang explained best, and it helped me wrap my mind around it. Basic instructions before leaving earth. Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth. If you take the Bible and apply it in its infinite wisdom to you, what's going to happen is you're going to be a better person.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if you're a better person with nothing, what's bad about the book? Man itself has taken that book and done the same thing that the slave owners did, use it as a position of power to oversee people, to keep people uneducated and stuff. There is. There's bad shit everywhere. But it's the mental state and how you apply. Information in itself isn't bad.
It ain't how you apply,
it's the application
it's how
of
it's
that.
taught, because a lot of times
That's still the application.
they skip over the bad
but
parts
that's
of
still the application.
So again,
The teacher is still applying his own.
It's how it's taught. Because if you're listening to the Bible, there should still be slavery. Right?
Slavery, pause, has existed. If you read the Bible, if you read the Bible to its fullest extent, when it really talks about slavery, it does say slavery should obey its master.
Yeah.
And that's when they stop. That's when they stop. But what it also says is a slave owner should not kill its damn slave, should not beat his damn slave to death. Does like all of that stuff that these motherfuckers here did ain't in the Bible. You can't put that on the Bible. Hey man, I wish I had my Bible here, because I swear I'm literally reading right now.
You know, the Bible even says, you shouldn't have you shouldn't have two shirts.
Okay,
There's a lot of weird stuff in the Bible.
Hey, Bible said you can't beat
was
on.
written 2,000 years
Going to
ago.
hell.
Look, man. The Bible also was written 2,000 years ago. So if we're gonna nitpick every little thing, we can go for forever.
But it was written. You gotta understand this. The Bible was written back then by people that did not know anything. Not like that. They only knew what they knew at the time.
Correct.
You
Based
know
off of the experience.
Yeah, if you like, man, I wish it would rain. Let me pray to the rain gods, and we worship the rain gods. And look, it's raining. They don't know that you have a rainy season and you have a dry season, and that they don't know. They don't have a meteorologist saying it's gonna rain. See, the more you learn, the more science expands. The more stuff we learn, the less we realize. Okay, we now have an explanation for that. Man, faith and religion is really used to explain the things that they couldn't explain at the time.
Okay.
They didn't know how to
It's
explain these
science.
certain things. So now that
okay.
science has figured these things out,
Science has existed for forever, though. Science and
but
religion.
science has not been as technically sound back then. They didn't have that. Those
These
were
are the
the
same
scientists.
scientists. These are the same scientists that built the pyramid and lined them up with the stars, and we're confused to how they was able to do it
Actually,
now.
we don't know who built the pyramids.
We don't.
We don't.
Okay, dig
Do you
this,
know?
right?
Do you know to
Dig
this day
right?
they still don't know how the Egyptians built the pyramids?
My point exactly. So if them same people back then that was able to do that,
Them could have been aliens.
could have been.
Yes.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, bro.
Could have been, man.
I totally 100% agree with you. If you want to open up that basket, we want to talk about aliens and all of that stuff. It's a great show out there.
Aliens ain't built no pyramids,
Check it out.
man.
Let me ask
But
you
now,
a
the
question.
cool thing about ancient aliens, and guess what
love
they do?
ancient aliens.
Guess what they do, though? Guess what they do? They open up ancient aliens next to the Bible.
No.
And they go through the Bible and ancient aliens all at the same time.
What have the Bible did for y'all?
Oh, I love that question. So, faith. me, I'm a prayer. I pray every night and everything. And I have a simple prayer when I hop behind the wheel of the car. And I'm going to give you this one example. My prayer is always, you know, especially if I'm inebriated, not drunk, but like been smoking or whatever, it's always, God, let me, son Jesus, let me get me to where I'm going safely and sound with no interference from the law, no accidents of any kind. And I remember leaving my buddy Jason Jensen's bachelor party. And I'm coming down 90 to 94, leaving Chubby's the strip club. And it's pitch freaking black. And I'm like, I get this feeling on me. I'm like, dang, I didn't pray. I say my prayer. I get that internal feeling, crank my radio, let all the windows down. Something's like, punch it. I punch it. I'm going from 65 to 95 in a nanosecond. Next thing I know, corner of my eye, big ass buck. Hit the front fender, flipped around, hit the back fender. Mind you, this was right after I prayed. In succession, within a minute, that happened. I get home, I got a tuft of hair. Not even a freaking scratch or a dent in my car. And this was a full-blown book. You know how many accidents have happened?
Can I
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I got more stories than that.
Why don't people believe in coincidence?
Hold on.
No. Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. No. Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question.
Okay.
In tune with that story.
Yeah.
You say you prayed, then you started speeding. So if you hadn't have prayed, you'd have been doing 65 and you never would have hit the buck to begin with.
Right.
Fair enough, but at the same time, time out. I see how you would say that. But when I say in a matter of seconds, right? When I say in a matter of seconds, had I not been going that fast, that buck probably still would have came full on and hit me in the middle.
No, because you'd have been doing 65 and the buck would have ran across the street.
That's mad. Your speed would have been gone, but listen.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I see how you can say that. But
It sounds like the biggest problem is mega churches. I don't think it's the faith. I don't think it's
No. You trying to change it.
I don't think it's the point of the religion. I think it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, no. 80% of it is good. You got the 20% talking about homosexuality. You got, talking about
80?
slaves. It was written during a time where they killed people for breaking the law. So what was the alternative to that? Was turn them into a slave. At least they stayed alive. They couldn't father no kids. They couldn't own no land. But, they were still alive and they had to be grateful for that. So
Well, back to the question. Back to the question. What do you really feel God did for you?
What the Bible did for me?
What the
Bible?
I would say one thing real quick. What Tim said. If I pray right now, and I pray that it snows, and it starts snowing, did I make it snow because I prayed, or was it just a coincidence? Like a lot of people, coincidence is a word, but for some reason nobody ever wants to give coincidence credit for anything. But back to the question of what
No. Real quick, let me wedge this in there.
Yeah.
Coincidences are incidences that coincide. People always like, well, I don't believe in coincidences. In that sense, it's conflicting. It really is that way when incidents coincide, align with what you want.
People won't believe in coincidence, but will believe in the wildest shit.
On the real. or the Lord works in mysterious ways.
That's a coincidence.
Mysterious?
Sometimes shit.
The Lord, mysterious.
So back to what you just said, if you pray for snow and whatnot and it starts snowing right now, is that a coincidence? Now the real question is there snow in the forecast? Because if there is no snow in the forecast, but if you check and there's no snow in the forecast and you pray for snow and all of a sudden it starts snowing,
how many people you check?
But no.
That goes back to back in the day when they
I think
for rain.
if he wants it that bad, I think if it's something that he wants, if there's something like, he just guessed it upon, if there's something he wants, like, I need to get these couple last dollars, to pay for the hospital bill, or I need to get back to the house, or I need, something like that, and you really need that, and it comes through for you, then I'll go with the faith way of it. But if you say, I hope it starts raining, and it starts raining right now, I'm just gonna say, that means that from a collective consciousness standpoint, that there had to been at least 100 other people at that given time period that you sat there and said, I pray for snow. In order for that to really
but if they
happen,
have the technology,
and let's stop with
they
the
would
snow
know
stuff.
that it was gonna rain. I get an alert on my thing saying expect rain at 5:44 and all stuff like that. Somebody at that moment didn't know that. It's like, damn, I wish it would rain. I really need it. And it rained. They're like, oh shit, it's a miracle.
I hear what you're saying, bro. They ain't trying to.
Meteorologists get paid to predict nothing.
Yeah.
Because how often are they on and off?
I got 50 coincidental stories behind prayer. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you what. they ain't all coincidences. I've lost money knowing that I was gonna go home, and I'm talking about as a child. Like I'm 6, 7 years old, walking down the block with the $20 in my hand, willy nilly, supposed to go to McDonald's to get some food and come back, and it's a freaking, the wind is, you know what I mean, heavy wind and everything, like fall weather, and poof, gone. Dog, I swear I checked the same damn spot 50 million damn times and didn't see it, and then finally prayed on it and prayed on it and prayed on it between prayer, the law of attraction, me putting out what I need and it needing me. Guess what? I looked down and the money right there. Hey man, I can't tell you how many times I thank God that day, because I swear 30 minutes later I came back with the food. My mama simply thought the line was long.
There's two things. There's two things that everybody.
An incident coinciding with what I knew.
No damn coincidence. The wind was blowing.
There's two things
and
that
the money was gone, and then it came back.
There's
wind
two
swirls.
There's
So
two
the shit
things
went inside
everybody
when you
should
pick
get
up
from
your
the
dollar.
Bible.
Right.
Come on, man.
Two things everybody should get from the Bible: strength and guidance. That's
Amen.
it. That's it. Right.
Basic instructions before leaving Earth.
This book was built to allow you to overcome and understand that you have no control. So when somebody's on their deathbed, what do? You pray. Because you don't have that control. You cannot control nothing in this lifetime but what you do in your actions, right?
That's correct.
So for me, I haven't prayed in years. And I think I'm probably in the best position I've ever been in my life. I think mentally, I'm at the strongest I've ever been in my life because I believed in myself before I was able to believe in anything else. I couldn't believe in something that I couldn't touch, I couldn't feel, I couldn't see. Call me crazy. But when I started believing in myself, knowing that if I get my ass up and I put everything into what I want, I will see results. This book will give a lot of people that cannot conjure up the mental strength, that strength to help them move forward.
Some people need that. And
some people need it.
Like me, I grew up, man, in church. I grew up, man, Sunday school, Wednesday night Bible study, summer vacation Bible school, all that, man. I grew up in church heavy until I got older, and I said to myself, where does this come from?
Yeah.
Why? Who wrote the Bible? And they would just tell you, oh, well, God wrote the Bible. But who wrote the Bible? Where did this come from? That's when I started digging. That's when I started doing research. I've been cursed with a gift of common sense. And
right.
I think of things logically and common sense. I go with the most logical answer. That's why I don't believe in a lot of conspiracy theory stuff like that, because the common sense says like certain things are just certain ways.
Right.
The common sense of the Bible didn't make sense to me.
Right.
For one, Christianity, to me, it was one of the funniest religions because what's the whole point of Christianity, right? It's to be Christ-like, right? Mm-hmm. That's why it's named Christianity. If you were to be Christ-like, Jesus was Jewish. So why would you not follow the Jewish religion and not Christianity to be Christ-like? That's like I want to be like Michael Jordan, but I play football.
Right. I get it.
Like that's basically what it is. That lets you know, like, most of the people that wrote about Jesus, it was like 200 years after he had already died. Yahshua ben Har was a real person, but you know,
even though you can still go to church, hear the word, and still feel inspired, right?
Right. It's motivational. Don't get me wrong. Some people need it. Some people, that's all they have. Like like you said, Leon, you gotta believe in yourself. Before I pray, because I didn't pray in a long time either. But before I would do that and be like, wait for something to happen, I always think to myself, nobody's finna come save me. Ain't nobody finna save me. Nothing. I gotta make it happen.
Hold on.
For the last 5 minutes. Right now,
the cavalry is not coming.
Time out.
The cavalry. Hold on. No, it ain't. It ain't.
Those that are looking for a helping hand tend to overlook the one that they got.
1,000 pounds. Segue. Okay. Faith without works is dead. Did you understand what I just said? Faith.
Who said that though?
The
Bible?
The Bible said that. But my point being, is you gotta act, you gotta work. How you gonna get anything done sitting around praying only? You can't just simply, like I could have just simply been like, God, please let this money come back around. God, please, I lost this money, I'm gonna go home and get my ass whooped. Took my ass home, and the money would have never showed up. But because I kept searching, because I kept actively looking, because I did some type of work
You would have
towards the
found it if
faith.
you didn't
I
pray.
know, bullshit. Bullshit.
We don't know.
You can't- no, I do know.
We don't know, though.
I do know because
We don't
I
know.
found money.
Okay, let me ask you a
Look,
question. Let me ask you a question.
No.
How many
God that's in you. God, that's the next part.
Name one bad thing that has happened to you. One bad thing that left a scar on your heart.
This cat named Monte Carlo set me up with the law and gave me my first actual criminal shit that really didn't have nothing to do with me. I was drug into it.
Did you pray in that moment?
Yes.
Did that change your outcome?
Yes.
Okay. What that comes down to is what I just said. Why I haven't prayed. I don't think prayer is meant to change the laws of physics.
You're correct. Prayer is
It's a strength that allows you.
it's something that he said earlier and whatnot. I'm gonna tie back to what we was talking about in the car, Cliff, and what Kevin Trudeau was talking about. When you pray, you're asking for something, and it's in an audible tone, so that vibration goes through your body, through your bone, into your brain, out to the atmosphere. It makes
You
it 10
tricking
times
yourself.
more. No, it's not even tricking yourself.
No, you're not
it's
tricking
belief.
yourself.
It's a belief. It's
There
a belief.
you go.
Sure, but it's a belief system. It doesn't matter what the system of belief is, so long as there's belief.
True.
Okay, because see, the mind doesn't know false from real. All the mind knows is that you're asking for this. So now I'm gonna give it to you in the quickest format possible.
How many times you've asked for reasonable things of the Lord and didn't?
Hey, dog, you know how many times I prayed for something that didn't happen?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's definitely equally true. But back to what you said about believing in self. You know what I mean? Like you've heard it said a million times, the God that's in you. You know what I mean? If we're all connected, if we all come from that one source, you know what I mean? That source being God, you know, good, bad, or indifferent, you know what I'm saying? Then when you tap into self, you're tapping into God. You know what I mean? Like if we really want to break this thing down, if you tap into self, you're tapping into the God that's within you and everything. Because even the Bible teaches us that, like he said flat out, I gave you the power to do even greater works than my son.
So the greatest thing that God has left for us is his legacy, correct?
The greatest gift I feel that God has left for us is the power to complete whatever we want to get done through the belief system and the laws of attraction and whatnot.
What will you have when you have left this world, when you have no more breath in your body?
I think the better question is, what will you have left?
No.
Will the world be in a better place after you're gone?
What will the world have left of you?
We still writing that one. We still writing that one. We still writing that one.
Still whatever you leave though.
Memory.
Because there's true, you have some memories and stuff.
You really
but there
die
are
when the last
people.
person speak your name.
True, but what I'm saying though, right, is whatever you leave in that legacy. Like for some people, it'll just be memories. And then, after a generation or two, those memories will be gone. You truly be dead at that point.
Let me say this, man, and I'm going to keep it 100% real with y'all. God didn't create man. Man created God.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
That's kind of what happened. Now, I am not an atheist.
Right.
I do believe in a higher power. I just don't believe in religion.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's what religion tells you.
Something made it.
Something made us, and something made the universe, but I don't believe that it's what the religion tells you. Because they didn't know, man. I guarantee you in 100 years, most religion will be obsolete.
How many authors?
Hold on. A million times.
More people are learning
1,000
about
religions
the
out
truth.
there.
Yeah, they're learning about science, and they're learning about how shit is actually made.
Right.
Science is learning where
Right.
we come from,
Okay.
where our consciousness comes from. They're learning about shit like other dimensions and things like that. Like, we are really learning like a lot of shit that they did not know back then, to the point where we can explain how the universe came, or theories we have that could add up. We know that, man, there's a possibility, we can all be living in a simulation. Not to get too deep, I'm really into science too, but it's a lot of different things like that they figured that or they theorize that can happen. But one thing we do know is something created it. Mm-hmm. It may not have been a person, man. As far as you know, man, we could be somebody's science project. Somebody, think about it.
Okay.
Can we
Think
talk
about this
truth again?
real quick. They say, man, like an advanced civilization. It is basically a technology that's a million years ahead of us. Even 100 years will look like magic to us. So imagine if you could, in 100 years from now, a million years from now, technology so advanced, you could create a universe as a game. You can create real consciousness.
Yeah,
Like,
so
if
The Sims.
we show motherfuckers a phone back in it like 300 years ago, they'd think we're a witch.
The
Trying to hang
Bible
us.
is aligned with laws. right?
Correct.
We cannot even take our ass in the fucking air without somebody telling us, no, you can't. That's when the Bible became a thing, because it was able to realign everybody to be on one accord. Not everybody thinking what they want to think. No, let's try to brainwash everybody and help them figure out the right direction. Well, that's not the right direction. It's just a direction that was created. And like I say, how many authors is there? This book was created to have you build yourself, build your soul, and give you something more than just.
That's not true though.
Well,
It was built to control. Let's not
Yes,
get it.
it's the same thing.
It was built
I agree.
to control people. It was built to control so they could control the country. And if you didn't believe that, you would be killed. You would be killed. There's still old gospels now you can go find, man. They still have but a lot of them were burnt. You'll get killed if you have them, man. So it was, the whole thing of the Bible was created to control. That was the first thing. Now, as people teach religion, some people have the right heart in it. It's motivation. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of it too, man. It sometimes it handicaps people. Sometimes people get too religious.
I shouldn't do this because the Bible says.
When I hear people talking about COVID, and they're like, "Oh, God will protect me." I wear a mask. God will protect me.
See, hold on.
You can't talk about faith without talking about religion, because your faith comes from your religion. So you can't talk about faith without religion. So if you say
You
that,
can grow out of religion and keep your faith.
Okay.
faith in what? What are you basing your faith on then?
You're basing your faith on truth of God and whatnot.
But see, that comes from religion.
That's religion.
Your point of view of God comes from religion.
God precedes religion.
God comes from religion.
God precedes religion.
No, God was created in religion.
And that source power, that source energy that we all come from, we call it God and everything. But it
I
was
call
here
myself a
before.
God.
Okay.
I am God. Because you were
There you
part
go.
of the source religion.
And I'm gonna clarify.
Ain't no ifs and buts about that. I'm not going to dispute that.
I'm writing me a book before I leave. Y'all can
run that. Run that. Here's you got a title. Here's a clarification in
Mine's
that
called
though.
The Common Thread. And
You
how
better.
God is interceding
I love that.
and interjecting in my
I
time.
love that. I love
Kept
that.
me
But
on
the threat part
going.
though, at any rate.
Thread, not threat.
Thread, great. So the clarification in this is that all right, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. All right? In essence, that too is the law of attraction.
Yep.
That is the bridge right there, right? He said he's a God. I believe I'm a God. I remember listening to Common on this song with this is a Common song. It's on his album. It was called G-O-D. G.O.D. Gaining one's definition. And that's in essence what we're really doing here. Because I remember in social studies, my dude, they talking about all the religious and the Christian crusades and all of that type of stuff and all of that, right? Yet it was all about controlling the land then. You know what I mean? I literally went through theology class for 4 years. 4 years. It ain't resonate with me like that.
How many people took a psychology class?
I'm not taking a psychology class.
That's where
I
you
took
need to
one.
focus your energy.
Because it's the power of thought. And while we sitting here, while we sitting here, we're praying, right? The prayer is like predicated by the thought, by the emotion. You know what I'm saying? And we're sitting here, we're like, ooh, like my man said, if you don't believe in yourself wholeheartedly, 100 and plus %, just like in regards to if you don't love yourself, how the heck can you love somebody else? So if I don't believe in me, or if you don't believe in you, how can we believe in something else that's kind of like esoteric or whatever?
You gotta pray to yourself, man, because at the end of the day, you are God. You are the creator of your world. You are the creator of your universe.
Yes.
Nobody's coming to help you, man. Nothing's coming. You are the.
And I
You
think
manifest
you are
everything, but
mistaking, maybe what I'm saying, and I don't know how else to say it and whatnot, because I know for a fact that, the God that's in me is not the God that I pray to, but I am connected to the God that I pray to. You know what I'm saying? I believe there is a tether, so to speak. Like if you got a remote control and it's connected to the machine, well, now those remote controls are wireless. You know what I mean? So I'm still connected to the divine and everything, but I'm 100% in control of this on this plane, on this.
What is God to
It's
you?
all up to me.
What is God to you?
It's and honestly, that's the hardest question to answer and whatnot. But if I had to break it down, then he's a father figure. When I didn't have a dad to call on, you know what I mean? When I was locked in a cell and whatnot, and I couldn't call mom, I talked to God. And you say, okay, fine, then you know you guys, so I'm gonna pray to myself. I respect that. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Make no mistake about it. I am not trying to change any of y'all opinions. But you know what I'm saying? When we all leave this physical, when we all leave this physical, the truth will be known. And we all gonna end up on the other side, or end up in a like-minded place. You know what I mean? And I believe if you on this side, you're gonna go over there. And if you on this side, you're gonna go over there. Whatever those sides may be. Some call it heaven, some call it hell.
I don't believe in hell. No.
I don't expect you to believe in anything.
What if you just die, you just gone. Your consciousness is just gone. There's nothing.
How about you just dissipate into the universe and you come back in another form?
Because
don't
everybody
come back in another
that
form.
I know
How about that?
has died, I haven't met they yet.
They ain't came back.
Shit, y'all believe in psychics? You believe psychics exist? People who are clairvoyant.
No, I'm gonna tell you. Hold on.
You don't?
Hold on.
Shit,
I'm gonna
sit
tell you
next door.
this.
Keep it popping.
It's that intuition. Sometimes it's just that feeling
Right.
that you can speak to because you understand your
Right.
thoughts.
Right.
And once you
So
can
you felt
project
something
that-
over your shoulder in the middle of the night, right? You have, say it.
I have.
Right.
I
Okay,
have.
okay, cool.
And it's
All
just
right.
it's just that presence of something else.
Yes. Right.
Electromagnetic.
And sometimes, look,
Energy.
and sometimes,
Electromagnetic energy.
I agree. Sometimes
Like that
it feels welcoming and cool. Sometimes it's like, nah, I need to leave.
But I have definitely
If you
spoke
believe
a
that.
lot of things
It
into
doesn't matter
existence.
what you believe. It's
Because you made it.
You felt
No,
it.
some things, man.
No, I ain't made nobody die now. Hold on.
Period.
Some things, man. It just is.
No.
Hey man, when I was 5 years old, man, I
Not
saw
from
my
my
grandfather
thoughts.
who had recently died at my grandmother's bedside in a complete white suit.
I ain't
You know
never
what I'm
seen
saying?
nobody that died that
I have.
Yeah.
And this has happened multiple times throughout my childhood.
dreams.
No, I was wide awake.
I know.
It wasn't no dream, bro. Like,
I know.
I'm like we sitting here
It's the
talking.
mental state.
Again, I'm just saying, like, when I tell you what I've experienced in life,
It
like, we
was
ain't
real.
gonna build the same.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I'm not the smartest dude. Like, book
we
work don't
know
come
that.
easy
No.
to me. Book work don't come easy to me.
Yeah.
But what you know what always has come easy to me? That intuition of knowing stay, left, right, stuff like that. Like, even on the road that night, me doing what I did in the car, maybe if I would have stayed at 65, maybe that thing wouldn't have hit me. Maybe it would have. Who knows? I'm just saying. You know, and I say 95, but I didn't hit 95. I literally went from like 65.
And
it was like the thought. It was like the prayer, the thought, radio, window down, gas. Literally that quick, right? Like it all happened that quick.
I like
and as I'm going, it pink, pink. You know what I mean? Like it happened like that. It wasn't a 30-second. It was. You know what I mean? So all that being said, my point is, and I'm loud because I'm passionate. Y'all forgive me. You know what I mean? But my point is, not to cut you off, bro. But my point is, right? Like when all else fails, believe in self. Period. If you can't believe in yourself, you ain't gonna accomplish shit. Get your children to believe in themselves. The more you believe in yourself, the more you're inspired by self, the easier it is to get out of bed to accomplish what you want. Is there something coming to save you? No. No, there isn't. But if you got faith in self and got faith in above, now you doubled up on your faith. It makes it that much more present. It makes it what you want and what you're trying to attract come to you that much faster.
You know, man, I don't believe in any of the paranormal shit. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in nothing paranormal, man. I really don't, man. I don't believe in psychics. I don't believe in none of that stuff, man.
Okay.
Intuition.
Just for the simple fact, man. You know they had a thing. This one science institute. They have the $1 million paranormal challenge, and anybody that can prove that they have any type of psychic ability, any kind of thing like that, paranormal ability, they give you $1 million. They've been doing this since the '60s.
There ain't
To this
nobody
day,
cashed in.
Nobody hit. Like many people have come.
They ain't
And
cashed
nobody
in.
to this
No.
day has ever got it, man.
Because
Like,
they don't got enough factual information.
there's not enough, man. Like the thing about, man, science, like I said, sometimes, man, science can explain stuff that before we thought we couldn't explain. Let's say you think you see a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Science, in I think in Sweden they have that. You heard that a large hadron collider where they smash particles together at the speed of light.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, when you do that, you're recreating the Big Bang and things like how the universe created. Because when these particles smash that fast, the thing is like the size of Waukesha. It goes all around like that, just at the speed of light. they create miniature black holes. They found what's called they call it the God particle a couple years ago. It's the thing that makes kind of makes everybody, like it makes everything in the universe. Like, so basically, man, like they find these things, man, and they could find like, okay, they found like clues or hints that there could be other dimensions, that there might not just be. And when I say that, like shit laying right on top of each other, how an ant could be walking on the floor oblivious that we are here. We're here and we see it, but it don't see us, and it's oblivious to us, and because of its understanding this light, it can't see us.
Right.
And that there could be things that are right here that we are oblivious to because it's in a higher dimension.
Yeah.
Sometimes those things could cross.
Right.
And maybe that is what people call a ghost or something that they see.
Okay.
Like there are scientific explanations for a lot of shit, man.
But it's just like
I like what exactly you guys been talking about. You guys are talking about science and we're talking about faith, and I think
The two should have never been separate.
they definitely come together eventually, and if they don't come completely together, at least you meet in the middle.
No, they do come completely
at one
together.
point or another. You know what I mean? Like there's things that you're gonna say, oh well, science is doing this, and there's things that you're gonna say, well, at the time, you know, faith or whatever got me through this, but at the same time, we could go through what freezes things, and you know,
but science is proving things.
And religion.
Faith is
Not all of it.
Faith is they're doing tests. They're trying to prove things, and for the most part, they can explain things. There's still some things, a lot of things you can't explain. Faith is basically, I don't know what this is, so I'm just gonna chalk it up to faith. Faith is like the easy way out. If you don't know what something is, you know how to explain something, I'm going to chalk it up to faith because I don't know how to explain it. And that's basically what everybody did back then. Everything was chalked up to faith because they just didn't have an understanding. They thought everything revolved around earth.
But to have
No.
an understanding,
Earth.
but to have an understanding, it still comes back to that mental capacity. It's no different than why people is scared of the fucking dark.
but
You ain't never seen no ghosts. You ain't never nothing happened to you in the dark. But it's you
You're
unconsciously
scared of the unknown.
Just
You don't know
turn
what's
the
in it.
light on.
And the mind itself, man, the mind can't
It's a
play tricks
motherfucker.
on you.
Very much
A lot of
so.
things you feel, it's just your mind.
One of my
Tricks
biggest
on you.
one of the biggest things that impact me. I was working at Alzheimer's and dementia place. Working around those people really helped me realign myself with who I wanted to be, because the mind is really a terrible thing to waste.
yes.
Once it's gone, it's gone. So that was another thing that impacted me, other than losing my 10-year-old nephew, that changed the strength of my mind. That helped me understand that all things are possible to me. Whatever I want to happen, I can make happen.
I sat there and I've been through Alice Lam for multiple years. And from there, I kind of transitioned over to where Christianity, I gave that some years. And although I did have results in varying degrees. Yet now, leaving that alone because, like my man said, maybe it was the instructional, the acronym that you gave it, all of that. What I do know is that science can only prove so far as technology allows it to.
Right.
And then everything else is just kind of like...
That's why I say, look at what we know now that we've been able to...
Think about microscopes and all that, like the clarity and the technology.
Have a solid explanation.
Imagine 100, 200 years from now, how much more we'll be able to explain. Yeah. And even in the future, there could be an alien civilization out here
Nowhere
that
near
just
it.
got the whole thing figured out.
Yeah. I think the alien civilization still is here. It's still on Earth. It's still, and they're looking at us. They're looking at us. And they're looking at us like, you fucking idiots.
Right. Hold on. Let me get this,
You know what I
please.
mean?
So with that being said, right, I assure you that, you have both sides. When you talk about elites, we talking about the powers that be and all of that, right? And they're on both sides of the spectrum. You got some that's for the common good, and you got some that want to disempower you, hold you down. The man got me down, all that, right? So with all that being said, I believe that religion was just a pacifier guidance, all of that and whatever, to where at some point in time, as you start to look at things more realistically and all of that, based upon your experiences, you begin to think like, wait a minute, is there something I'm missing?
Yes, you got to free your mind.
Right. So now we're free.
It does.
Psychology is everything.
Here's the truth. Here's the truth. I think you read the Bible and everything, and you know what I mean? It's information that's in there. It's for you to decipher how
It's
to
a book.
apply that to your life.
It's a book.
Period.
But it's just like any book.
Totally
man.
agree
You can
with
read
that.
any book. And
Yeah,
apply it to
most
life.
definitely.
I can
But
watch
it's-
a movie and apply it to my
It's
life. Yeah,
100%.
And it ain't gonna
We're not dispute.
impact
This isn't a
everybody
dispute.
the same way.
It's not a dispute of what the Bible is for. We all agree that man has tampered with the Bible in such a way
Shit,
that
man
they
made it.
used it.
Man made it. Not
Most
tampered.
definitely.
Not tampered
But I'm
with it.
saying,
Man made
what
it.
I'm saying,
Made
what I'm
it.
saying, what I'm saying ultimately, right? Once we all agree to that shit that you just said, right, is that it should be applied in such a way that it makes you a better person. It gives you a roadmap to internalize and turn the mirror back on the self. So the reflection you see in the mirror is something that you like, love, and trust. So you can take that like, love, and trust and then make the world around you a better place. If you take this same information, because people have taken that Bible and taken that information out of the Bible and done tons of good, right? We can agree. And they've also taken that same information and done tons of bad. You know what I'm saying? So
people go to war for their
so what I'm getting at again,
all that stuff.
and I've said it a million times. You know, information isn't good or bad. Information is applied good or bad. It's the person that applies the information for good or bad or self-gain or whatever the case may be. That's on us.
This is another reason why I say psychology. When I hire people, they take a talent assessment. That talent assessment figures out who that person is. I get the results. They tell me who these people are.
Send me that. I want to know what those
It's
results are.
confidential.
But-
I can't send it to you.
That's what you gauge it off of?
Time out. Hey bro. I'm gonna take the test, and you gonna share my results with me.
Okay, well you got to just fill out an application.
Okay, cool. Just so we clear.
It gives me who this person is. It really breaks down all aspects, and it gives me questions. This is how crazy it is. It gives me questions to ask these people. It tells me what they're going to be shy or insecure about, what their strengths and their weaknesses are. I get that paper, and I swear it'd be like a game to me every time I interview a motherfucker, because I got this information based off of these questions that they ask, and I'm just sitting here, what about if you put in this situation, blah, blah, blah. And I swear, this shit is real. But somebody put this shit together. Man has put this test together to be able to, how the fuck could you dig apart a person just by answering some questions? You may take too long to answer the question, and now you're a certain type of person.
And you believe in that?
Hell yeah, I've seen it for myself.
I'm saying you believe in it though. Like to sit there and say that that's like to sit there and say Trey isn't who he is, Tim isn't who he is, SK isn't who he is. They're to varying degrees. Yes, we have a similarity, but you mean to tell me that your one test?
Yes.
Get the heck out of here.
Man, psychology.
I know, but
Call it what you want.
I know.
Man,
we
you know,
can go there too, though. We can go there too.
Uses this. The FBI agents, when they try to find killers, they take psychology tests just by the little evidence that they got, and they pinpoint what kind of person is.
They pinpoint where this
But that's a small percentage of individuals.
As they use the psychology, it be so on point that even when that reason they keep using it to this day is because the information that they get helps. It be so on point, man.
It's a flick on Netflix called Lie to Me or Don't Lie to Me.
No, it's lie to me.
Watch it, and it's gonna make you look at people different.
I don't want nobody.
Just so we clear on record, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Simply put. No, I'm not just saying like
That's
my
great.
faith. Like,
That's great. Nobody's.
And I'm not trying to get y'all to share my faith. I'm just
great.
going on record because again, like what I didn't get to say earlier to bring it back and everything in the Bible, it breaks down fallen angels, how he left them on earth and all that. And then he told them when they got here, don't sleep with the daughters of man. They did so. And then they made, they had giants were the result of that, of that relationship, sex and all that. And then maybe, 2012, 2010, something like that, up in here, all of a sudden, I'm going through the computer and whatnot. And what I found out is they just all of a sudden start uncovering giant skeletal remains all over the freaking earth. You know what I mean? So you can say man made the Bible all you want to, but the stuff that the Bible speaks about, see, there's parts that man made, but there's parts that was divinely written and everything, and those parts that are divinely written that are being uncovered as truths today
But why
are
wouldn't
real.
it? But why
So
wouldn't
what
it
do
allow
those
when
angels
it
look
happened
like? Like what
thousands of
qualifies
years
them as
ago? Why
angels?
wouldn't it?
Read the Bible.
No,
Read the
I
Bible. Come on,
I've read darn near the whole Bible. No,
and your answer's in the beginning. You're asking me something that I don't care to
No,
answer.
no. Time out. I'm asking. I'm not contesting. I'm asking in regards to you said you saw this on whatever. What made that seem like it was an angel?
I didn't say it was an angel. I said giant skeletal remains. I said when God kicked the angels
really
out of
know what
heaven.
it is. It could have been big gorilla shit like that. Like there are
Okay.
the same thing.
He could have big
Okay.
giant skeletal
How old do you
remains.
think the Earth is?
The earth is don't even try me,
said how
bro.
old?
Don't even try me, bro, because I'm not one of them thumpers that thinks the earth is 2,000 years old.
Okay, I'm just
Okay,
wondering how
hey, bro.
Well, how
look,
old
here's
is
the
it
deal.
though?
It's old enough.
Do you believe in evolution?
It's old. Look, here's the deal. 7 days. 7 days, right? 7 days. It said I made the earth in 6 days. On the Sabbath I rest. Okay, but one day is like 1,000 years. So over the course of 7,000 years, man evolved from whatever he pulled us up out of being the dirt. So does evolution exist? Well, yeah, most definitely. Why? Because shit's evolving right here now.
Yeah.
You got me, bro. You got me messed up, bro.
Man, but at the same time,
Hey, man. Yes, evolution is real.
Listen, let me tell you something. You got dinosaurs.
Yep.
They don't speak of that in the Bible because
They don't.
dinosaurs dominated and roamed this earth longer than we've been here. They ruled this earth for so long. The only reason that
So
we
how
are
come
here,
that ain't in the Bible?
the only reason we are here is because the dinosaurs died. And we
Dinosaurs
were like,
worried about-
we evolved, not from monkeys. Like, people get that wrong. We didn't come from monkeys and apes.
Period.
We are similar to monkeys and apes. We didn't evolve from them. We were actually like the size of mice. And then humans elected to have the Homo sapiens and things like that. They evolved and you started growing like how giraffes used to have short necks. They evolved to long necks to help them eat. It's, what's it called? Nature versus nurture, some shit like that, where you have to survival. Your basic instinct is to survive. That's the same thing as a bacteria. How a virus, its thing is to survive. That's why some viruses become where antibacterials don't work, because they've evolved to survive. They've evolved, and that's the same thing with humans. We've evolved over this time. They got this scale thing. It's like if you said the whole lifespan of Earth was a full calendar year. Humans arrived at 11:30 p.m. on December 31st. That's the short amount of time we've been on this earth compared to when the earth has been. Dinosaurs have ruled this earth for way, way longer. There's a possibility
So did we evolve from there?
Aliens
I'm
could
not
have came to this
disputing
planet, man, and
any
seen the
of that.
dinosaurs and like, the
And
fuck
you
up
know
out
what?
of here.
That's exactly what the fuck happened. Period. I truly believe that there were some species that came here looking for a better place.
There's a lot of shit out there we don't know.
Time out. They were looking for a better place to inhabit because whatever they did to their earth and whatnot, and they came and they saw them big ass green beasts. It's like, okay, we ain't trying to get ate up, so we're gonna drop this asteroid, bomb, nuke, whatever you want to call it, wipe that shit out. After we come back and circle back, after that shit done cleared and the dust done settled, now we can go ahead and set up shop.
So-
find the closest thing out here breathing, so we can damn near
possible.
interject some of us into,
It's
so
possible
we'll be more inhabitable.
That an alien
with this-
scientist could have
this
came and
earth
just
shit.
put us here. An alien scientist could have came
All I'm getting at,
and
bro, is
dropped,
damn near
and
all
dropped
of it
the
has some
seeds
truth.
that became us.
Okay,
here's
okay.
That
why-
alien
here's
scientist
why-
could be our God. He could be the one that created.
Here's what changed
Everything.
my mindset. Am I gonna continue to chase answers that I will never find the fucking
I'm not chasing no answer.
answers to
okay.
any of my questions? I'm
Right.
not chasing them bitches.
I'm not chasing
While
that
I'm
neither.
here,
I'm
I'm
working.
gonna live my life
Live my life to the fullest to be better and
in
leave this
as
place
much
better.
positive energy until
Mhm.
the motherfucker put me in the negative,
Okay.
and influence as many people to believe in themselves as I possibly can.
And that
And on that note, this has been this edition of the podcast. You know what I mean? The process. episode, whatever we on. Y'all stay tuned, man. We're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it spicy. We're gonna keep it hot. We're gonna keep it topical. You know what I mean? We just gonna be here conversing, man. That's meant. At the end of the day, yeah, whatever he just said, God be with you. You know what I mean?
I used to be Muslim too, man.
I ain't never been nothing but who I am.
But it's
you know what I
good to
mean?
get on.
Firm
Law of
believer.
attraction, baby.
That information
Create.
allow you to realign yourself with yourself.
Oh God.